I feel like the camera's should have been scooted over more that way, because like.
On this way?
Yeah, doesn't it seem like there's a lot more space over here? Or you know what, no, don't move the camera. Maybe we need to move our butts over here, like that. Oh, is that better? Yeah, we look more centered now.
Yeah. It's good to be
kicked in.
It's good to be centered.
It is, like serenity now.
Oh. Okay, we're in sync.
We're in sync. Hello, bin friends.
Jinx.
Jinx. I'm Belinda, and this is
Pat.
Today, guys, we're going to do something you've been requesting, and we've done one time before, and that is to take some of our bins or thrift finds and make them over. And that's what we're going to do today. So we're going to show you what we do with this stuff that we've got laid out, and then we're also going to show you, in between, because it gets boring just to watch us do the same project, and I'm going to, speed it up and just show you the important parts of it, and then we'll show you other things that I have done, because we sell on eBay. We have an eBay shop, we have an Etsy shop, and that's stuff that I sell and make on a sewing machine. And then we have the 3 booths at the antique mall, and that is where we buy all of our thrift stuff. We clean it, we repair it. I do. This is my full-time job. He has a full-time job that's 40 hours or longer, so he doesn't get to do as much of this stuff. What Pat does is woodwork, and he does a lot of the repair stuff that I don't want to do because he's better at it. But we're going to get him now into doing a little bit more of the makeover stuff. You've seen him the last time. He did like a riser thing, which was really, really cool. We find these old metal legs in the bins. Pat cuts the wood on the top, and normally I do the staining or painting, but he did it last time, and it turned out really cute, and I use it at the antique mall to
I'm
put
learning.
stuff on.
She's teaching me.
So he's going to learn how to do the makeover stuff, so we can both learn how to refine the BINS finds. Serenity now.
We
anyway,
find it,
y'all.
and then she refines it.
Yeah. Anyway,
Something like that.
So I'll tell you what I'm going to do first. This was a clock that I found in the bins. No, Pat found it in the bins. I think in the one in St. Louis, right?
I think so.
That needs some work. Missing handles, the door needs to be put back on, which, well, the hinges are there. Really wouldn't be that hard. I don't know. It'd have to be repainted, some hands put on, probably just by a whole new movement. It's not terrible. I don't know. I think I'm gonna get that and see what she thinks of that too, if she wants to go through all the trouble of putting that back together.
It was just in bad shape. The door's hanging off and all, and I'm like, oh, I can do something with this. This is not real wood. It's some kind of pressed cardboard stuff. I don't know what it's called. But
And I had said, well, we have replacement clock movements,
Yeah.
but
I decided I don't want to do a clock. Why? Because these kind of clocks won't sell very good for me, because it's a new item. It's one thing to take a vintage clock and paint it over and stuff, and it'll sell. But this is a battery powered, and I just want to, because you can remove this. You can see the little latches that you can just remove this whole thing. So I'm going to take the whole clock thing out of it. I'm going to fill the hole in with either wood filler or with some like air dry clay. And I'm going to cover this with a design that I printed out on rice paper. I bought a whole stack of this blank rice paper on Amazon a couple of years ago, and it's taken me forever to use it because it was a thick stack. But you have to tape this because it's so thin. You have to tape it to regular paper to print it out, and then my printer still tries to eat it, which you can see the ink. But I only need this centerpiece anyway, because I'm going to cut it out. And
yeah,
I'm
fortunately
going to,
the working part was fine.
Yeah, paint this white. I'm going to attach it, but I'm not going to use like Mod Podge, because I rather use the clear finish. I'm going to use some like Dixie Belle clear flat finish to get it on here. And the reason why is because you get less wrinkles and you can work with it more. If you use Mod Podge, it ends up, it's a glue. So when you try to move it, it ends up ripping, and you get all these wrinkles. And I'll still get wrinkles, just not as many. So I'm going to take this, and believe me, when I sanded this thing down, this cheap paint, I don't know, we're trying to get some stuff, but and when you sand it, that black stuff gets all over you everywhere. So I would recommend, if you find this kind of thing with black paint or red paint, that you might want to seal it instead of sanding it. So unless it has a raised design, this was a little bit of a raised design is mainly why I sanded some of it. But you want to spray this with like a shellac. Shellac is a little expensive, but for a small project, a can will go pretty far, but it will help the paint to adhere to it so that, you know, you don't have to sand it down and get that black junk all over you because it's really bad. I'm going to prime it with this Rust-Oleum chalk paint.
It sounds French.
It's very French. Yes, Rust-Oleum. The French are better watching us and going, mm-mm. That's like us trying to speak, you know, Southern. And anyway, so I understand, guys.
Did you say the color? This is country gray?
Country gray. And the reason I'm using country gray is because Pat got it on clearance. We got a couple of cans of it because this chalk paint doesn't come cheap, as you guys know.
No profound reasons, just I got it on clearance.
Mm-hmm. And chalk paint just sticks better to paints. The spray paint doesn't as well as the brush on does, like the Dixie Belle paints and stuff, the more expensive stuff, even though this ain't cheap. Like I said, it's not cheap. But I just don't want to brush it. I'm being lazy and I want the first coat to be sprayed on and then I'm going to crackle it. Ta-da. I may spray paint it black for the under color, the whole thing black. But then I'm going to put some crackle on. It doesn't matter what brand you use. I just like Stamperia. Anyway. So again, whatever you want to use. To crackle it, you can use Elmer's glue if you want to. Oh, and I'm probably going to turn this into a jewelry box. I've got like one of those necklace, you know, things that you put in the jewelry box that I took out of a different one where you can hang necklaces. So I might do that and maybe put a ring thing in here. I don't know.
On it. Yeah.
I haven't decided what kind of cabinet I want to make it yet, but a jewelry box would be really cool and probably would sell better than a clock cabinet. So anyway, that's what I'm going to do. Now Pat's going to tell you what he's going to do with this angel. And he found this angel at St. Vincent de Paul's thrift store, which I call St. Paul's thrift stores. All right, we are now headed into St. Vincent de Paul thrift store in St. Charles, one of our favorites, and we're going to see what they've got today. Isn't that right, Patrick?
That's right.
That's right. Oop, here we go. If we don't get run over, we are going to get run over today. Okay. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome, man.
We got cans of chili. Chili man.
Yeah. Can you give me a bag taking this question too, buddy? Got it.
Those are sold.
I'm getting ready to get it. Right.
Ooh, that's pretty. We got on at 32. Yeah.
You put it up.
Very pretty. Wow, that's a big decor piece, art piece. These small pieces of furniture.
All right.
See this, but I got one at the store that hasn't sold. So I got $6.75 on this one. It actually looks a little bit better than the one I've got. It's prettier color, more decorative, I think. It is pretty though. I am trapped in here. See any lamp stuff? No cool lamp stuff. We'll move on. This is kind of cool sectional sofa here. What we got on it? $2.25. Not too bad. Pretty. These little bowls here are. Those are old heavy-duty china, like from hotels. That's cool. It's heavy. Saucers and stemware, 50 cents each. So how much are those? Doesn't say, does it? Not sure what that is. See in there? It's like, I don't know. Who knew? Lots of cups and stemware. Easy to stay away from because those don't sell well for me. They're too accessible. Always run into a handsome man wherever I go. There's always one.
Too bad I'm not a handsome man.
Safety pin.
Shawl pin. Got this. Other kinds of pins too.
Those are
Interesting.
like ponytail pins.
In this case,
$5.
some for a shawl.
Oh. I thought they were like those ponytail pins, but they're not. They're like scarves and stuff.
Yeah.
Cute. How much is this thing? It's very silver. Needs a good paint job. And it is $3.25. Get somebody's name and Cub Scout Bear. Huh. 2006. That's interesting. Bird cage for $6.75. The bird cage. No bird though. It's kind of pretty, the bird picture.
Flew the coop.
Yep, it flew the coop. You got a hole in the side and it flew the coop. This is funny. This looks like just like the one I bought last time I was here, only it was cheaper and it sold instantly. I don't know why. Oh no. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
How much is he?
That opens to it. Won't be darn.
$6.50. That's not too bad. Does he work? Oh my god, we gotta so get him. Does he work as a nutcracker too?
No.
Oh. Can't believe somebody wouldn't want him. He is totally cool. Well, he's got a string. I'm surprised that part didn't open and
Well, it
close
does.
too. Oh, okay.
It just won't crack any nuts. I mean,
No, oh, I think we ought to get him though. He's
yeah,
so cool.
it's different. I haven't seen an animated one before. I'm sure
me
other people
neither.
have, but I haven't.
We still haven't sold that last one, but it's off year,
Yeah, exactly.
so that's okay.
Neat.
Oh, this is cute. Oh, he's missing his horn. How much is he? $4.95, and he's broke and missing his horn.
Yeah, and his thumbs.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's broke and he's missing his horn. Ooh, he's pretty. Pretty dove. Give thanks. That's not a, oh, that is a turkey. Why does he look like a dove here? Doesn't that look like a dove?
Oh, from that angle, it sure does.
Yeah, but he's a turkey. Okay. That's weird. It's wood. It's pretty. Little dog. Not sure what he's for. Inspiration. This little creamer. What they got on her?
I don't know why, but I like her.
I like her too.
She's cool.
How much is she?
She's $5.
$5? What's she made of? She's a candle holder.
Yeah, she's ceramic.
Yeah, she's ceramic. She is cool though. She needs a paint job though.
Oh,
You don't think she needs a paint?
I said I know.
Oh. I thought you said, oh. No. $3.25. Those are huge. Huge, huge, huge. They're cool picture frames. I'll look over here at the picture stuff. Sometimes I find something cool in here. Not today. Someday I will change the world. So what? This is new for Pat. Like I said, Pat doesn't do very many makeovers. He normally does the woodwork and the repairs. So he wants to learn how to do makeovers so he can do videos with me because we're really good as a team. You know,
Yeah,
I'm
she's
fast,
teaching me.
he's slow, and he is going to be, actually, I'm probably going to do this and one other craft while he's doing this one.
Only
because he is
She
so
could
slow.
knock out 4 while I'm doing one.
But we're a good team together because I just rush through everything, and Pat's very slow and particular, and
I hang on to the back of her jacket as we go through places. And
I drag him through it.
She drags
So
me through. So.
together we're like the perfect person because I speed him up and he slows me down. Okay, now, Sweetie Bunts, tell him what you're going
Somewhere
to do.
out there, there's another husband and wife, and she's like, they're just like us.
Or right the opposite.
Or the opposite.
Yeah, that would be super cool too. Okay, go ahead and tell him, Pat. You tell
Where are
him.
you going?
I'm going to show him something while you're doing that.
Oh, she's abandoning me
I'm
in my
abandoning-
hour of need.
But because that's shiny, you're going to put.
So yeah, I'm going to prime it
prime it.
with something, probably this.
This is the other thing I need to finish
And
that
then-
I got it backwards. But I'm going to show real quick. I'll show you a clip of me getting this in the bins. I'll show you a clip when we got that in the bins first. Probably already have by now. I really like this box. It's actually kind of pretty, isn't it? Needs to be repainted, but it's not bad. I'm going to take it. But I've just covered this. Had a nautical look, and I've covered it with brown paint. And I had an idea for it, but it's sitting so long now. I can't remember what I was going to do. But I'm going to do some kind of...
Don't you hate that? You got a great idea for a project, and then once you finally get around to it, you're like, I can't remember.
I do that all the time.
All
And
the
I lose the
details.
hinges. I'll lose the hinges. I put them in those little metal containers, and I'll have 4 or 5 of them around. I don't know what I did with them or whatever.
Hinges, corner pieces, if it comes with corner
That's
pieces.
what happens when you do 4 or 5 projects at a time. But anyway, I'll show you guys as I go
Screws.
along. So I'm not going to interrupt him again. Maybe. I'm going to. Go ahead, Pat. Take it away, Pat.
So anyway, so prime it, and then paint it with the paint. So we're going to use the Dixie Belle Cucumber Ice. We're going to give it kind of a concrete kind
Yeah.
of feel to it.
We want it
And
to be more than just...
Mix in the salt wash
Yeah, more
and
than
the
just to look
cornstarch
like your
together.
sidewalk or your driveway.
So-
We want to give it even more like a statue concrete, because if we just use the salt wash, then you get kind of, to me, that flatter looking, newer concrete. You don't get that really rough. And if you will add this to it, or just do this, I mean, you can do either or either if you want to, but we're going to try mixing them. I haven't done that before, so I'm going to try mixing, because I do the cornstarch a lot to make the statue stuff, and I will add the kosher salt, because then you'll get even more. If you guys have seen some of my makeover videos that I did like a year or 2 ago, you'll see that I've done that before, and the look of it. But
Cornstarch is cheap, you know.
yes,
This stuff was,
$18.
looks like somebody knocked down the price or something. There's a handwritten price there, and now it's
Well,
covered
we got
with
this in
18.
a store in Springfield. It's kind of like a thrift store or antique store or whatever, and the girls sold all this kind of stuff, so I bought that
Salt
one off of
wash.
her.
Poudre.
And I've had it for a long time.
Powder.
It lasts a long time, unless you use it consistently, but I don't use it a whole lot, but I have used it for several projects, and I still got a whole bunch of it, so it doesn't take a lot.
Show you
But
what-
it is some good stuff, and you can get it in a way bigger can than that too.
Salt wash.
Just find you a dealer. I think you may even buy it on Amazon, I don't know. But this is my Kroger brand from Kroger grocery store, and you can even buy it in the box. I do that too.
Yeah.
And I put mine, I'll find like a little, I have a tin salt shaker, one of those big ones with a handle that I got at a thrift store for $1 or something. You can get those, and so use them. When you find them, then they're all by themselves, and you're like, so get it, because if it's a big shaker, you can add this kind of stuff to it, and then you have it, instead of having this big thing you have to deal with all the time, you have these smaller containers with your
Plastic
craft
spoon.
supplies and everything, close around, so you know that you can use them without having all these big containers around you to have these little things in a container, and it just makes it easier for me to do my crafts.
Organizing your crafts.
Try to organize,
Something
but I
we
suck at
try to
organizing.
do. We try.
He's worse than me on organizing.
I'm terrible. No bueno.
He's a bad boy. That looks like a rat turd.
It looks like a rat. You're not supposed to talk about what's hiding behind the angels.
Where did that come from?
Her, she pooped.
Stop.
It's a seed.
Thank God, because it looked. Don't you dare! Cut! Oh my
It's
gosh!
just a feed.
Why do I make videos with him? Please, somebody tell me.
It's crunchy. No, yeah, it's just a seed. It's like from bird seed or something. It's weird.
Maybe it was outside.
And maybe it did come from her with her
It
wings.
is a seed. You're right. It is a seed, but it did. I'm serious, guys. Look, it looks like, you know, like a little rat turd. So, I mean, that's my first thought. And it wouldn't surprise me because you guys, if you buy a lot of this thrift stuff, you know, when you bring it
Well-
home, God knows what's inside of them. I have found all kinds of things.
We generally do bringing stuff in stages a lot of times. You know, it starts out in the garage for a little bit and then slowly, you know, then we
Yeah,
clean
then
it,
we
and
I bring it
in
because otherwise I would be going crazy with how much stuff I have.
Yeah.
I've done that and I've been crazy with all the amount of stuff. But one time I bought this really pretty urn and inside of it were ashes. I need to say no more, right? I don't think I'm the only one. I think a lot of
Yeah.
people who have thrifted,
I've seen videos
especially Goodwill.
online.
Yeah. Oh, I actually seen. We watch. What's her name? Yvonne. She does
Ginger chick.
Ginger Chick Rehab. Mm-hmm. Is that it? Ginger Chick Rehab. She actually found one too. So
bought
I was
one
like,
too.
hey, I relate with you. My daughter and I found one too. So okay, back to what Pat's gonna do. So after
think that's
he
it, right?
sprays this
And
with
then maybe
gray,
some
he mixes
antiquing
stuff.
wax.
He's gonna put this on it, and then he's gonna take this color,
Oh, that's right.
this
Forgot a step.
manatee gray that he was naming all these cute little names, but if you mix them, but anyway, he'll take what's left of this mixture and he'll put some gray in it and then he'll dab that gray on there because that's going to give
Magnolia
it.
Man? Is that better?
Magnolia
Man.
That-
No.
If that makes you feel more macho, honey, you go for it.
No, it's bad. Better than Magnolia Tea.
Stop.
Okay.
You don't name them, I name them.
It's true.
Okay? Okay. This is an angel. You don't want, what did you call it? What, man or
Did
what?
that hurt?
Angel? No, it didn't.
Okay.
It didn't hit my funny bone. So, anyway,
So,
it's an angel. We want to make her look angel-y. But we want to give her that
She's kinda
concrete look to put her
Christmassy
out.
right now.
So you can put her out in your garden. You can put her on your porch. You can put her on your deck. And she will withhold the weather better because we're going to use
I think
this
she's
stuff.
supposed to be like a candle holder for
Yeah,
inside.
and we'll
but
spray clear finish over her.
do you want to? Should we put something in there if it's going to go outside, like a plant or something?
You could put a light in her
Or-
even and make her like light up at night. You could put a solar light in her. Wonder what's her bottom look like?
It's just
She's
a-
got holes even. You could even stake
she's
her
got
in the
holes.
ground. There's an idea. I think that's what we ought to do. Don't you think that'd be cute? Do we have like a solar light thing? Because you can get those little Dollar Tree lights that
doesn't-
you put outside and you can
Oh, it
take it
does go in.
apart and put it in her. Make it look like she's got, or you could put a plant. Like
That's what I
a
said.
little
Should we
fake
put some
plant.
greenery in there?
Put some greenery in her. That might be cute. We'll just see when she gets done. Because when you
Little
finish
cactus.
that project, the look, then you know what needs to go in there. You're like, oh yeah, that definitely needs a light, or oh yeah, that definitely needs greenery. Because it'd be pretty to have some fake greenery that were hanging down, you know.
Oh, a little vine.
Yeah, that would be
type of
pretty
thing.
too.
That's-
Which I definitely
that's
have
a good
plenty of
idea.
greenery because you guys know I get that stuff at the bins. A lot of it.
Yeah.
I sell those big old giant flowers, you know, that I get at the bins all the time. I sell those things almost faster than I can take them in the antique mall, but that's cool. I like it.
All
Okay,
right.
so
Ready to get
this is
started?
going to get us on the project, and what we're going to do is we'll show you some overhead. Like I said, you'll get to see us working on this stuff. Overhead, I'm only going to show you what's important, and then what we're going to do with the rest of it is we're going to show you past things that we got in the bins and what I done with it. Because, you know, we refine things, and we're going to show you the refineries. Refineries.
You're gonna film yours, and I'm gonna film mine, and then she's gonna go edit out everything that I did. And
Let's get to making some stuff. Let's show you guys what we got at the bins. Let's show you what we're going to do with it, what we did with it. Okay, anyway, let's roll the video.
let's roll the video.
angel. Oh, aren't they cute? I am like, if they're not broke, I think these are broke. If these aren't broke, I'm gonna get them. Little cherubs. Yeah, I'm gonna get those. Those are cute. First, I spray painted them with some Rust-Oleum paint in country gray. Then, to keep them from looking like they were just freshly painted, I got some of Dixie Belle's Best Dame Wax in black. I dipped a dry brush in it, and then I would blot the brush out to get as much of it off as possible, and then I would dab it onto the angels or the cherubs where I thought it would make them look like they were aged. Now both cherubs are done, and I absolutely love how they turned out. The gold was cute, I liked it, but it was a little old-fashioned, and I think this made them a little bit more modern. Tell me what you think. I love them. I think they would look good, not just hanging on a wall, but maybe attached to a large frame. Anyway, tell me what you think. First, Pat sprayed his angel with Rust-Oleum Country Gray. Hey, we had 2 cans of it. It was on sale. Gotta use it. Besides, I absolutely loved the color. I really like the gray color. I think it looks pretty all by itself, actually.
Dixie Belle Cucumber Ice Chalk Mineral Paint. And we've used quite a bit of it, so we're just going to mix everything in here and just use this container. Gonna add my cornstarch and my salt wash to it. I don't know how much of this to use, so I'm assuming I'm just gonna add it until I'm happy with the texture.
I would do a small, first thing I would do is I would do my cornstarch. It's cheaper for one thing.
And then you said the other is just an additive, so you mean the salt wash is just an additive?
Yeah, I would
Okay.
use the salt wash as an additive if it was me, because it's more expensive and it's
Well,
not
yeah,
gonna
this stuff's
give you
kinda
that
cheap.
real thickness that you're going to want. So here, just add and mix until you get the texture you want. Sometimes you may have to start dabbing it on your project in order to see if you need it thicker or not as thick, because you may have to add paint. So it's always smart to take a little bit of the paint out first. Sorry, Pat, I forgot to tell you that step, but he does okay anyway. You can even mix up a little bit of it thick and then start out with a really thickness, and then make you some that's not as thick and add it on top of the thick and just get this really cool look. You just want to dab it on there, but you want to be sure that you cover the whole thing, but you don't want it so thick that when it dries it cracks, because you can put more than one coat on it. Like I said, you can start out with a thicker mixture and then add a lighter coat. That's up to you. But just keep dabbing it on until you get that look that you want. And remember, this technique is a dabbing technique because you want those little peaks and stuff to appear to give it that concrete look. If you just brush it on, it's going to be too smooth and not look like concrete.
Little update here after I've done some stuff to it. I've done a little aging to it. So I have this kind of grayish lost shadow, antique linen, a vintage photo. I wasn't really sure how they would look. Unfortunately, it came out kind of pink. This one did. This vintage photo didn't come out that brown color that I was hoping. It came out more pink, so I especially back here it was really dark, so I've gone back over it with some more of the original paint. I have this stuff that's for miniatures, and it's kind of a grassy material, you know, for whenever you do miniatures. It's got that kind of greenish dark hue. It would be cool to see some moss growing, so I glued that in. A little bit of glue and then sprinkling some of that on there, and it's, I don't know, I kind of like it. All right, I'm just kind of finalizing. I took some of this Dixie Belle Manatee Gray. And kind of went over the whole thing with a little fan brush, trying to help with the concrete look. There's a little bit too much black right there. I need to do something about that. I need to knock that down a little bit. This is my first attempt at this. I think it could be better. So we'll see what Belinda says and what pointers that she has for me.
Now to add just one more coat of the more white finish, just to tone it down just a little bit, just to make the gray stand in behind it. The dirt and all the age and everything from it has gotten down into all the little cracks and crevices. Then I sprayed it with a protective clear finish. I think she turned out just wonderful. I love how she looks. Pat did a great job. I added some faux moss and a faux plant and just hot glued them in to her little pot she was holding. And I think it just added some character, some color to this concrete statue. I love this angel. I think she turned out so beautiful. What do you think? First, I sanded it with 220 grit sandpaper to get that raised fruit design off of it. Okay, now I've got this thing all sprayed with some flat black spray, and it'll be getting all of its cover pretty soon. Okay, so we're going to move these clips because we're going to get this out of here. I'm just going to unscrew this thing here. So I'm just going to spray paint this, and hand paint that. It looks like I didn't video this first part. So what I did is I took some air dry clay and I filled in the hole where the clock hands were. After it dried, I painted it black, then I blow dried it, and then I put some Dixie Belle clear finish, it's a satin finish, over the top of that to kind of blend it all in so I didn't have to paint the whole thing black. Then I flipped it over and I painted the other side white. I laid the door down over the print and then I just drew the circle out and cut it out so that it would fit on the round circle that goes inside the door. Then I used some of Dixie Belle's clear finish, I think it was just the satin finish, and I covered the little circle in it and I applied my rice paper on top of that. And I like to use this clear finish instead of Mod Podge, like I said before in the beginning of the video, because you can adjust it. It's not a glue, where Mod Podge is a glue, and once you stick it down it's really hard to move it without ripping it, and it actually causes more wrinkles. You get a little less wrinkles by using the clear finish. I always use a brayer to help get out wrinkles. And then I add the clear finish over the top of it so it has a glossy shine. Here I am taking some black Waverly chalk paint and I'm going over any edges that I may have missed when I spray painted it. There's some gold still exposed and I didn't want it exposed, so I just went over it with this black chalk paint. Okay, next what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some of this country crackle on here, and again you can use any kind of crackle that you prefer. Yeah, I don't know, it all's about the same to me. It's kind of like you've seen one crackle, you've seen them all. I'm sure people have their preference. I think that your brush that you use is probably more important than the type of crackle you use. So I'm going to use kind of a fat brush because I just kind of want it to be kind of light, but pretty much all over it. So this is how I'm going to do the crackle, and then I'll let the crackle dry, and then I'm going to hush right now and cover this thing with crackle. Then I'm going to let it dry and I'm going to spray paint it. Only this time I'm going to use the country gray. After I let the paint dry, I sanded it down because that helps that crackle come through, giving it an old vintage look. I love this look. I think it has this worn out paint look, which is a natural look. There are always some areas that my electric sander will not get to, like this one in here. See this area through here. So I'm just going to use a little hand sander that I've got, and I'm just going to go through it and do it by hand. You probably can't hear me, but I'm going to use this It's a flat clear spray. I'm going to spray it down. Just a light coat of it. I decided I wanted to add a clay design on the top of this, what is now a jewelry box, or just a cabinet. I haven't decided yet. So I'm using one of my IOD clay molds, and I'm just adding regular air dry clay to it. And then I'm going to take the design out, and I will add Titebond glue to the back of it, and I will just attach it straight onto this little cabinet. Now what I'm doing is adding antiquing wax to the whole thing. I'm doing it to the mold, and I like to put it around the edge of the mold, so if there's any clay exposed, then it'll pretty much cover that up. But I also wanted it to have that old antiquing look. I'll also add it all over the cabinet, especially around any of the edges, corners, the little increases and stuff, and where it's handled a lot, like the door, where right around the knobs and that kind of stuff. Then I wipe it away. Here I'm using a toothpick to get down in all those little crevices because I want the antiquing wax in there, but I don't want it too thick. So what I'm going to do is to make these little knobs is I have these little, they're just like little wooden beads. They're just called round wood beads. They're $1.99, plus they were 40% off at Hobby Lobby. So I'm going to use those, and I already had a bunch of these like rods, these dowel rods. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in here, but I want to leave it a little bit above it, and I'm going to glue it in and then cut it off and sand it. This is a great little tool to have. If you don't have this little tool, I highly recommend it. Okay, so it'll just go in there. So basically what I'm doing here is I'm going to glue that bead onto the dowel rod. Then I'll paint it and I'll glue it in. Okay, I'm going to take Titebond glue and I'm going to glue these little pegs on here. Put a little glue inside so it runs out the other end. And then we're just going to let them sit and dry for at least an hour. Titebond glue usually dries fairly quickly. Okay, next I'm going to paint these, and I'm going to do them very carefully, and then I'll have to clean the pliers off after I get done. I'm going to paint them with the Dixie Belle's new Magnolia paint. Actually, I got it painted without getting it on the pliers. Ha! So I'll blow dry it, I'll put some clear on it, and then I'll put antiquing wax on it as well, and then glue it into the door. Okay, they are done. They have been painted clear finish. I just put a satin clear finish on them, a Dixie Belle, and then I just used some the Waverly, just a regular antiquing wax, and I dried them, cleaned them off kind of thing, and now I'm going to glue them in, and I'm just going to do that by using some Titebond. So I'm going to squirt a little bit down in the holes, just sit them in there. Okay, I got the little knobs on. Took a little doing. I probably should have took the doors off before I did it, but I just kind of put like a board, like an old cutting board that I use for crafting underneath it, and kind of tapped it on there by putting a towel over the top of them. But they did go in there. One of them I had to cut down just a little bit more because it was a little too long. I was afraid that one of them was too short, but it turns out one of them was too long. So anyway, it's in there now, and it's starting to look really, really, really cute. And next I'll just do the inside for the jewelry stuff. Okay, when we found this in the bins, the top part of it, where the clock originally was missing screws for the hinges. I got this a while back on Amazon, and it's been a lifesaver for just things like this, to reattach this. Okay, I'm going to take some of Dixie Belle's Clear Coat Flat, and I'm going to brush it inside the jewelry box. I'll just seal all of the inside of it, top and bottom, and it will be done. The clock is done, and it's no longer a clock. Is it a jewelry box? Well, I never got to finish the inside. I plan on doing it after the video, but I still plan on putting a necklace hanger on the very top on the inside, and on the bottom I will put some felt down so that the person who buys it can put their rings and stuff in the bottom. Anyway, I love how it turned out. I was really proud of it. I love how this gray, this really distressed, aged look came out. By adding the crackling on it, it really made it turn out cute. What do you guys think? You think it turned out cute? Okay, here's another project completed. What do you guys think? Do you think it was worth saving? I definitely think this one was worth saving. Wait, there's more to come. This is cute. That's cute. I'm not gonna get that. I'm gonna get that. They're not gonna get it.
It is missing just, I put that back to the top part.
It's okay, it can be fixed. I can fix it. She was saying that it was messed up on the top.
Oh.
Or was she just talking about...
Oh,
it has
no,
a
that's different. It's just because it's got a different one.
I think that's what she was talking about. The hook is different.
Yeah. And I bet if you removed it and moved it down, it's probably got a hole all the way through, doesn't it? Yeah, it's a hole all the way through.
What if we take one and move it down there, remove this one, and then put those glass knobs or whatever on it? Wouldn't that be cute?
Oh, I see.
I think that's what
Get rid of a couple of them.
Yeah, I'm just going to be smarter.
There you go.
Okay, so I removed these two. I moved one of them over here, so that left these two. And I want to put these little glass knobs there, but unfortunately the screws were a little too long. So what I did is I took the saw and I just sawed them down. I took them over to the grinder and just grinded them down. So any little sharp pieces will, like little slithers and stuff, will be smoothed out so somebody won't get those stuck in their hand, because believe me, those hurt. How do I know? I'm just, I just figure, it's gotta hurt. Not that I've ever had it done before or anything. Now, I took the glass ones. I think these are so cute. And I cleaned them up with just some Dawn and some vinegar and some water and a little toothbrush. And I'm going to put them in here. I got this sitting over a trash can. Which is not really smart, because if it falls out, that's where it falls out. And then, which it did. Okay, I got the screws in. I did have to cut this one twice because I cut it a little too long. That one I cut just perfect, tightened them up, and I love how this turned out. These only cost me $1 for a package of them because I got them at the flea market in Springfield, Ohio, the extravaganza sale. Anyway, I absolutely love how this turned out. Tell me what you guys think in the comments. On this metal wire wall art, I couldn't remember which time we got it out of the bins, but I knew we got it out of the bins. But I'm just going to show you a before and after picture on this one. Do you think this was worth saving from the Goodwill Outlet bins? This is why we do it right here, because we know we can take things and just make them gorgeous, and they're going to be in someone's house for a really long time. I think I hung that just a little crooked. Anyway, it turned out really pretty. Okay, here I threw a couple of little black hooks on it and hung the angels. So here's an idea. These little angels can hang on just about anything and look adorable. So don't pass them up in the bins, guys. Save them from the dumpsters. So tell me, guys, what do you think about this save?
It is the ugliest birdhouse I've ever seen. I'm sorry.
Okay, guys, these are all cleaned up. They're so freaking cute. They took some scrubbing. One of them actually had a bird nest inside of it still. Yeah, he's got a dragonfly. And then the butterfly is in the little cow's hand. Oh my gosh, guys, these things are so cute. I cannot wait to go put them into the antique mall. After I get them all settled in there, I'll show you guys what it looks like. Hey, if you guys like the video, I would really appreciate it if you do a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't, because we'd love you to be a part of our team. And always ring the bell so you know when these great videos are coming up. Okay, guys, until the next video. Say bye, Pat.
Bye, Pat.
See you in the next. Get up there and turn that thing off.
Okay.
Go. Bam! It's off.